Here from Joseph Caban, the Global Vice President of Design and responsible for some of these cars. So here today, we've obviously got the MG4 Urban, but we also have the MG S9 PHEV, as we were talking about previously. And it's so interesting how, when you're talking about a product portfolio and understanding the different vehicles and the different needs, different expectations of customers, but also different requirements. Here, a very sporty, more functional, practical, commutable vehicle versus the MG4 Urban, which is more your regular, let's say, small urban vehicle, quite literally, as the name suggests, a vehicle you'd be more comfortable with driving around the city, maybe commuting as a full battery electric vehicle. Now, not only do we have the cars here and the opportunity, as we just did, to speak with Joseph Caban, but we also have a tech exhibit, and we've just taken a quick look around, but I can show you again, if you missed it before, the examples of what we have here, everything leading up towards the battery technology. But where I'd like to start, if you come with me through here, is coming back over to the Hybrid Plus. So this is very much what you're looking at when it comes to this, understanding the setup of the hybrid system and the vehicles. Obviously with the battery, the 1.83 kilowatt hour battery pack, the largest in its class, also with a casing that has ultra high temperature resistance, up to 1,200 degrees. Typically, it would normally be around 600 degrees. So very, very impressive in terms of the thermal dynamics side. Now, what's particularly interesting in the Hybrid Plus are the different driving modes. We had a quick look at this before, but you can drive in everything from full electric propulsion, which will be library quiet, effortless driving, just running fully on electric power, or a series of different combustion engines. And we have a great example here when we go to direct or direct plus propulsion of how they operate using the combustion engine for the full power, for more fuel efficiency and smoother driving at higher speeds, to then equally going through to parallel, where it will really ultimately offer you the full propulsion. So both electric, the motor and the combustion engine at the same time to give you maximum power, and with that, the benefits that might be required for overtaking or for other driving maneuvers. Obviously, this is what you see in the vehicles as of right now. And over here, we have the 3-speed hybrid gear shaft that you have in the Hybrid Plus. What's unique about this is that it's the only 3-speed hybrid gearbox, 3-speed gearbox in a hybrid vehicle on the market, which is obviously, again, for optimizing for efficiency. And you can see other parts here, some 3D printed parts, again, helping with the minimalization of materials that are required, saving weight, and using the latest technologies to build the components in the car, including also the Hybrid Plus traction motor starter. When we start talking about the next generation Hybrid Plus, though, we're looking over here. Components are shrinking. The packaging obviously getting even better. We were speaking with Joseph about how, as time is going by, these new technologies are offering new abilities, improving the experience even further. And you see that with some of the parts that we have here, the powertrain and also the gear shaft. If we come over in this direction, over here, we look more towards the electric side of things. We've got two components in particular to take a look at. On this side, we have the coaxial electric drive, and next to it, the 16-in-1 electric drive. This integrates the kinetic electrical thermal energy conversion, all for optimal efficiency. This will be featured in upcoming battery electric vehicles, BEVs. Even when we talk about the batteries themselves and the materials, how they've evolved from the original liquid lithium-ion batteries through semi-solid state, quasi-solid state, to all solid state. And what we have back here is an example of this, to be able to see the components themselves, the full solid state battery, which obviously reduces any of the risks associated with liquid in batteries in a traditional sense, with this move towards new technology, towards an evolution of what we know when it comes to these things. Over towards this side, we run through some of the different components, the parts that go into making a cell, ultimately having the ability to make very small cells and use these in different shapes and configurations. Very high safety, excellent low temperature performance while delivering the power that's required, especially in a system that offers 350 volt architecture, which again is unusual in this particular class. Coming over here, what you find, we read this earlier, but this is really the summary. MG, the first to mass produce semi-solid state batteries, redefining battery safety and low temperature performance. Very, very important things ultimately in a battery pack like this, the all solid state battery pack, 296 kilograms, sitting only 110 millimeters, 11 centimeters tall. And as we were speaking with Joseph, by having a battery pack like this, it can enable a few other benefits, extending the wheelbase to improve the driving experience, raising the seating position while lowering the center of gravity. And as this has shrunk to such a scale and size, all helping with that experience and making it even better than ever before in terms of the drive, in terms of the range, in terms of the safety, in terms of everything that you want as a driver of a vehicle for the best experience. And we very briefly touched on this earlier, but when you talk about these different battery technologies and you run right back to the beginning, when you start with an LFP battery, effectively your first generation of the batteries here, the cells can only move in one dimension, just basically forwards and backwards. So you have very, very, very minimal movement in terms of the benefits you get from that. When you move up into the layered style, sort of the second generation, it becomes 2D. And you have basically a 360, a circular kind of motion that's available to you. But when you get now to the very latest, the spindle structure, this is where you have a complete 3D cell structure. So the component, well, not components, sorry, everything can move in every possible dimension, which ultimately offers you even more performance packed into an even smaller punch to be perfect for everything that you could want to do with it. And having all of these exhibits here today enables us to take a look around and to understand a little bit more about the technologies and about what's on display and what's part of all of this. Because, you know, we've got the cars, lots of opportunities, demonstrations, and as all of this has evolved, it ultimately means that under the skin, for the customer, for you who buys and drives the car, you have an even better performing, even more safe, even more comfortable driving experience. As we come back around though, obviously there are a number of each of the cars, but the MG S9 PHEV is the new flagship. It's the vehicle that's really made its introduction here, a lot of presence, very sporty design, and a very impressive look. We took a quick glance at the cars when we got started earlier, so we had a quick glance at these. But to show you a little bit more, you have this shield-like grille at the front. So obviously as a hybrid vehicle, airflow required for the cooling of the engine that sits behind, but it mixes this very wide, very narrow grille, which gives you a sporty presence, with additional openings down below to give you a lot of presence on the road, to make people turn heads. And even if you note the headlights, very narrow, slim design that wraps around towards the side of the car. Again, this is all about that sporty feeling, which matches with the body lines that you see, the lines through the different panels, again, emphasizing what this is all about. New sporty wheel design that goes with it as well, but very much a vehicle created for your motorway commutes, for driving down the highways, for everyday business, everyday driving, what you're getting up to. And even down to the way these are painted. I have to comment quickly here. It's an impressive paint that gives a different look depending on the light and how you walk around and see it. Door handles that sit flush as well with the bodywork, lower lines, and coming towards the rear as well. This raked and integrated spoiler, the design work that sits on the rearward pillar, and the tail lamps at the back actually wrap all the way around the design as well. Because it obviously wants to represent and show you what the car is all about in its form as it stands here. So we're talking, you know, high-end, luxury, practical, good technology, great car to drive and to live with. If we come back around towards this side, past the tech display, this is where we have, again, the MG4, the MG4 Urban. So the other end of the modern or flagship range from MG. The MG4 Urban is your battery electric vehicle for daily city driving, for effortless, easy driving, slightly raised up, as we mentioned, which comes with the benefits of allowing the packaging for the battery systems to sit down below, but also giving you more presence on the road, more visibility, while reducing the need, obviously, for the large openings and grills of a traditional combustion engine vehicle due to the battery technology and the way it has been crafted to work in terms of thermal efficiency and be as optimized as possible. So we have a few more minutes before the live presentation is going to be coming up. There'll be more to see in terms of the technology as well, so don't go anywhere. All of this is coming momentarily to learn a little bit more about the MG4 Urban and also the MG S9 PHEV. But amazing today to be able to take a quick look around, to get started and understand more about these vehicles, and to speak with Joseph Caban, the Global Vice President of Design for MG, to understand more of the cars as well. So I think it's only a case of time until we're going to be back with you to go direct to the live stream. So definitely don't go anywhere. Today, though, we've been able to go and take a look at the cars, to be able to hear from the design team, to understand the designing of them in the first place, but also we've been able to take in some of the exhibition. So should we head back over this way, where everything's getting ready and gearing up now for the presentation to begin? And like I said, there's going to be a lot more to take in today, from the new cars to the technology, Hybrid Plus, and the semi-solid state battery system. This is really a very exciting day. You can actually hear that everybody's getting ready now, just being able to walk around the exhibits and to be able to see the different technologies and what's going into them all, from the batteries and the cells and everything. So what an amazing opportunity. Today, we've been able to see the new cars, we've been able to understand some of the new technology, we've been able to talk to Joseph Caban, but coming up very shortly is going to be the live presentation itself. So please don't go anywhere. It's all coming up in just a moment. And together, we're going to witness a new era of MG's technology. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes.